Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. Joining me today is Civilian Arc, which you better check out his video, his videos on his YouTube channel, as he posts lots of awesome content here, as we do here and such. So, how you doing today, Civilian?
I am doing excellent. I just finished my BattleBots tier list, and everyone who's viewing this should check it out. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check that out sometime too. So yeah, this is the 8th fight card of my fantasy tournament here, which will be released this upcoming Tuesday. After this fight card, the results come out. Every single bot has had their first and only fight so far this season. But I will let you know that this will be the last podcast for the fantasy tournament for a little while as well. I'm gonna probably pause posting fight cards as well temporarily, just because college gets going. College starts up for me again within the next few days, so I'm going to be incredibly busy. But I'm still going to be posting podcasts over the episodes of BattleBots that come out, so I will still be doing stuff, just less stuff than before. So in this main event, the main event for this one is a main event I really hope we'll get to see in BattleBots. We got two elite machines are in it this time. We got Hydra and Sawblaze, is two bots who are serious contenders for the giant nut in BattleBots 2020 and so on. So this should be a fun one on if these two ever meet. And but before we get to that one, let's just go right down the list with the leadoff fight where we got Ghost Raptor and Valkyrie. Now it's Ghost Raptor at this moment is sitting at 0-2, who with losses to Jackpot and Shatter, not counting the bounties where they went 1-1 in the bounty so far. Their opponent is Valkyrie, where they got a win over Tantrum and a very entertaining victory over Rotator. So yeah, thoughts on this one, Civilian?
I think this entire match on how quick it goes would depend on what Valkyrie's blade would be. If it's like the blade they use against Rotator or like a different blade.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how Chuck Pitzer adapts to fighting another spinner, as he's fought a ton of horizontal spinners with Ghost Raptor in the past. So this would be an interesting fight to see. It would be a battle of strategies mostly.
Definitely. I feel like Valkyrie would probably go with a similar strategy that they did with Rotator, where they would go Glory for their spinner, but I'm not 100% sure, as I could very much be wrong. I don't know what Leanne and Cushing's game plan would be if she took on Ghost Raptor or this season or something like that, or bot like Ghost Raptor or and such. Like, I'm gonna be honest, what I think the outcome of this battle will probably be an even worse version of when Ghost Raptor took on Jackpot.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think Ghost Raptor would get dismantled by Valkyrie. I think rather than the spinner getting destroyed, I think the lifter would get destroyed in this one, and potentially a wheel gets separated once again, and just like in the Jackpot battle.
I think the only advantage Ghost Raptor might have is maybe in terms of driving. Ghost Raptor might have like a better, like maybe not better, but more experienced driver.
Yeah.
Than the Valkyrie team, because Chuck Pitzer's been doing this for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Chuck's been doing this ever since the beginning of BattleBots. Both of these teams have excellent drivers here, so this will definitely be an all-out driving war and such. Ghost Raptor will. I expect they're probably going to try to box rush Valkyrie if these two who've ever fought against each other. But yeah, I feel like if Valkyrie's full weapon got up to full speed, I think they would just obliterate Ghost Raptor or and such, knowing what we saw them do against the well-armored wedge or Rotator.
Yeah, Ghost Raptor isn't that well armored. Also, it has a lot of Eternals that are like poking out of the robot that Valkyrie could easily cut off.
Yeah. Of course, though, we wouldn't want to underestimate Ghost Raptors. If they get one lucky shot, potentially right at the sides or potentially right at one of the wheels, they could chop off a wheel, kind of like what Bombshell did the Cobalt in 2016. And so Ghost Raptors definitely got methods where they could definitely win this, but in my opinion, odds are probably not on their side. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Uh,
should we vote in this one?
I'm ready to vote.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna pick
I'm gonna.
Valkyrie by a knockout.
That's pretty much where I'm at as well. I think Chuck will put up a good fight, but I think Valkyrie's overwhelming spinner will be able to finish Ghost Raptor in.
Yeah. All right, fight number 2, where we have Brutus and Tantrum. As Brutus, we haven't seen them since the 2018 season, where they went 2-2 in the regular season, I believe it was.
Yeah.
2-2 in the regular season, and then lost in a last chance battle against Endgame and Warhawk. They're taking on Tantrum, where here in 2020, they are currently sitting at 1-1 with a loss to Valkyrie and a win against Adam 94. If I took a good guess, I bet Tantrum will come in with a similar armor configuration and to what they had against Ab 94, or where they got two forks there to try to get underneath Brutus and such. And so, thoughts on this battle?
This is a very interesting fight because I think this is actually a very close fight. I mean, Brutus is very underrated as a robot. Like Adam Burkew was a great driver in 2018 as he came up with a lot of great strategies to take out his opponents. Like his strategy was against Gigabyte was smart, except that it kind of failed because he flipped itself over. But Brutus is a good strategic bot, and Tantrum is looking really good this season with like all the damage and control this robot has. This is a very close fight. Like I think this fight would be go down to who has the better driving, in my opinion.
Yeah. I personally think Brutus might have had a better chance at that fight against Gigabyte if he actually spun his weapon, because I don't think he was spinning his weapon until Gigabyte's spinner fell. Like he
Yeah,
was
that was
taking.
his plan.
Yeah. I thought, like, I honestly thought when I saw those two were about to fight that Brutus was going to have a similar strategy to what he had against Son of Waiachi, even though Gigabyte does have a self-righting mechanism, but then clearly that wasn't the case. But yeah, Brutus is definitely not a bot to underestimate. Yes, they went 2-3 in 2018, but Brutus is a terrific design and that is still a lethal vertical spinner and such, as is Tantrum. So this will definitely
Yeah.
be a battle for ground game here, or possibly driving ability too. As Aaron Hill has proven himself to be a decent driver so far this season,
Yeah.
as has Adam throughout in the first few seasons he's competed in. Because I want to say, did he drive Overhaul in 2015? I don't know if it was him or Charles who drove Overhaul
I
that
think
season.
Charles drove Overhaul and maybe Adam used the weapon, I think, because I
Yeah.
think Overhaul had two controls, one
Yes,
for.
I know one of them was driving it, the other was controlling the weapon, and
Yeah,
that's what I know. I just don't know whose spot was who.
yeah, I think Adam was using the Crusher and Charles was driving.
But yeah. All right, so yeah, this would definitely be an interesting battle. Like I feel like when I post this post a poll on this one, this will probably be a relatively close one. And as we got two excellent bots clashing here, so yeah. Any other thoughts, or should we vote in this one?
This is a very tough fight for me to decide, but yeah, I'm ready. I think I know who I'm voting.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Aaron Hill and Tantrum for this one. And I think they'll be able to win it in a similar fashion with Adam 94.
All right. Since this will be our last fantasy fight card podcast for a while, I'm bringing in the coin one more time.
Watch it not be one more time, because we still got 6 fights left.
All right, I picked Brutus.
Ooh, 1-1. So since this is a split decision here, be sure to comment and who you think would win between these two bots. Break our tie here and so on. So next up, we got a Robot Wars face-off, a Robot Wars Classic bot versus a Robot Wars Series 8 and 9 competitor. We got Bigger Brother, who's definitely a major fan favorite, against PP3D, who did pretty reasonably well in the 2 seasons that participated in. So
Yeah, it
so
did. It
yeah,
did.
thoughts on this one?
This is another kind of close fight because PP3D does have some reliability issues, as shown in its like fights against like Cherub or other fights like that. Because I'm not sure what happened in its Cherub fight, but it has some reliability issues.
I kind of
And
wonder. I'm not sure because I wonder if they almost had internal issues like in between when they had to repair the arena and stuff after Cherub got hit so hard that they knocked out an arena panel. Kind of
yeah,
wonder if battery powers or speed controller stuff was an issue in that battle, but I'm not 100% sure.
yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch to see if like there was any damage report on PP3D for that.
Yeah, but yeah, in my opinion, I disagreed with that decision as well.
I did as well, even though I see why they were picking Cherub, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah. And so basically I do have concerns for like both machines in this situation because you touched on PP3D here. Is PP3D he like in Series 8 they did quite well that season, dished out some major shots, worked perfectly well and such,
They
even though they
almost took
did have
out
a motor
Hollow.
issue in one of their battles, but then in Series 9, their only really impressive fights, in my opinion, were their opening round battles and the Cherub one. And like their fights against Eruption and Behemoth from there weren't the most impressive, in my opinion, as we saw them have some major weapon problems in those. Then with Bigger Brother, while this is an awesome design to watch and stuff, and Lil Joe Watts was terrific, like and stuff. He definitely made that team a fan favorite and
Yeah,
such. I got major concerns just because this is a classic Robot Wars series design and such. And
yeah,
so, I don't know exactly how well they would do against like a big horizontal spinner like PP3D, as we saw Terahertz take them out one season, and with Terahertz's axe and stuff.
yeah. We kind of talked about this last week, but it's like even when like a mid-tier modern Robot War bot goes up against like a high-tier classic Robot Wars bot, it's hard to predict because like of the quality in between years, because a lot can happen in between the reboot era and the classic era.
Definitely. So yeah, this will definitely be a tough decision, and considering like PP3D's reliability and the fact that Bigger Brother, we haven't really seen them for a while and such. So yeah, any more thoughts on this one, or should we vote on this?
I, th- I think I can vote on this one. I don't think I
Yeah,
need the coin for this one.
yeah. I think I'm gonna pick PP3D by knockout out and such, just knowing they can drive upside down and stuff. I think they can tear into Bigger Brother's armor, but this one could be a reasonably close one.
I was gonna go with Bigger Brother by a judge's decision.
Ooh. All right, so we got another split decision. So with both Bruce and Tantrum and then Bigger Brother and PP3D, be sure to comment down below whom you think would win those two battles and such. And yeah, so all right,
Yeah.
so then fight number 4, we got Kronos and Minion. Kronos with their full body spinner, they end up having an untelevised defeat against P1. And then Minion, they are a super heavyweight classic series bot, but because it wouldn't be fair for Kronos, Minion is weighted down to 250 pounds, basically. Don't ask how that would work and such, but it would just make it more fair, even though Minion is a classic series bot as well. So Minion with their wedge and their vertical spinner, they did win the first super heavyweight competition of Battlebots Classic Series, or more like season 1, because I know
Yeah.
they had the Long Beach event and such, and it
Hmm.
was quite fun to watch. And then they were runner-up another season. So,
Yeah.
thoughts on this one, Civilian?
Well, I know a bit more about Minion than most classic BattleBots after doing my tier list of all the BattleBots championships. Minion is a really great driver. Like, in all honesty, Minion was one of, if not the best super heavyweight driver of uh the classic BattleBots. Like, it was like Donald Hudson levels of good driving. As for
Including
Corona,
the driver of Minion was Christian Carlberg, who drove Overdrive and Mecha Rampage.
oh, was it? I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's like another veteran of the sport that is really who knows a lot about BattleBots. And as for Kronos, Kronos has like we touched on this in our episode review. Kronos seemed to have weapon problems in its fight against P1,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if Kronos' weapon is at full power. I think it could do some damage to Minion, but it all comes down to Christian Carlberg's driving of Minion and how he's able to pull it off.
Yeah. I feel like even though the vertical spinner was kind of his popular choice, at least when as for the weapon he would lead with, but I feel like this is a situation where he would probably lead with the wedge to try to keep Kronos off balance and such.
Yeah,
And I think that wedge
yeah,
would probably
definitely.
give Kronos a hard time even with it up at full speed. So
Yeah.
yeah. Here I'm trying to find something. Dang it, no explanation on that stuff because I'm looking at P1's damage report from that battle with Kronos.
Ah,
So, but yeah, so yeah. So, any other thoughts on this one, or should we vote?
I am ready to vote.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and hear from you first.
I am actually going to go with Minion by a judge's decision victory. I think Minion and Christian Carlberg's driving could pull off a win against Kronos. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Minion as well for this one. I think that wedge is gonna give Kronos a lot of trouble. And if that spinner happened to break, I think that would be the time when Minion would lead with that vertical spinner and be able to dish out some possible damage. But yeah, that'll be interesting. All
definitely.
right. Fight number 5. We got Battlebots and Robot Wars face off. We got Sub-Zero and Androne 4000. Sub-Zero, they finished the season 2-1 with wins over Grabot and Sporknock, but well, not really finished the season, finished the regular season, and with the 2-1 record, but then lost a jackpot. We'll probably see them again in the top 32 if at least if the selection committee considers them in. Their opponent is Androne 4000, where started off with a loss in their opening round battle in Series 10 to Concussion, which we'll see in the next battle. Well, and Nuts took a shot, got a victory over Torin, then took a shocking loss to Nuts following that, and ended up losing to Iron Awe in their final fight, eliminating them from the
Yeah.
competition. But still, that Crusher is not one to underestimate and such, as you probably have seen. If you've seen Robot Wars, you probably have seen what that Crusher can do. Or if you've seen Quantum, like in Battlebots 2020, I believe it's similar tech, and they're able to sink that teeth. They were able to sink that tooth into Concussion and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, thoughts on this one?
This is another fight where I think it could go down to driving because Sub Zero is not that reliable, even though it did just beat Grabot and Sporkanok. We still don't truly know if it can take on a bot with like an actual weapon because we know Andron 4000's weapon is usually working for the most part. So, how exactly will Sub Zero counter that? Is the question.
Yeah, because they won't have Nuts who took out all the hydraulic fluid from Andrew 4000's Crusher, which disabled their Crusher and their self-righting mechanism. So I feel like
Yeah,
Sub-Zero is just going to be trying to flip them as much as possible in this one. Just prevent Andrew 4000 from getting an opportunity with that Crusher.
yeah,
It's
but
definitely going to come down to ground game, but knowing Andrew 4000 couldn't even get underneath Nuts' mini bot, that's a concern where I think they're just going to need to try to outmaneuver Sub-Zero, which with Logan Davis, that's going to be difficult. And such as he's done a pretty good job driving Sub-Zero so far this season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this would come down to a driving battle to see who would get to like the sides of the other robot first.
Yeah. So I feel like even though Andrew 4000 can self-right here, as long as if they keep getting flipped over and over again, even though the fight goes the full 3 minutes, Sub-Zero would probably win it by a judge's decision if the fight went down that way. But then, of course, though, if they manage to get a bite on Sub-Zero, it could be all over from there for Sub-Zero if Andrew 4000 gets that tooth in them even once.
Yeah.
All right,
But
so
this should be a close battle though, overall.
without a doubt. So, anything else from you, or should we vote?
I'm ready to vote.
Yep. I'm gonna go Sub-Zero. I think they're gonna dominate this one. And I bet there's gonna be less than a minute left in the battle for when it happens, but I think they'll get the knockout.
I think it'll be Sub-Zero by an out of arena. I do think it'll be close in like the 30 seconds as they're trying to like get under each other. But once Sub-Zero does get under, it's game over from there.
Definitely.
It's Sub-Zero's fight to lose, and it will win.
All right, fight number 7, where we get 2 major contenders one from Battlebots, one from Robot Wars. We got Uppercut and Concussion. As Uppercut currently 2-0 right now with a dominant victory over both Gemini and Sawblaze. Their opponent is Concussion, who made the grand final episode in Series 9 of Robot Wars, and in Series 10, they made it to the last chance, the 10-way free-for-all Rumble, that year, or and such. And including it's run by Tim Rockley, who is awesome, he's such an entertaining person in competitions and stuff. Like, thoughts on this
Definitely.
one?
I'm sure a lot of people looking at this will say, well, this is an easy win for Uppercut, but I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as that. I think as long as Tim Rackley is good on his driving, I think he can outmaneuver Uppercut for a little bit. And if he gets like a wheel or something,
I need to quick look that up because I'm not sure if he's the driver, but I could be wrong.
I might be wrong. I think it might be someone else at the driving, but I could be wrong. But
yeah,
whoever's driving Concussion, if they can outmaneuver Uppercut and get to like the sides, I think they could dominate. But like it all depends on Alex Satori's driving also, because Alex Satori is also a really great driver in BattleBots, as shown in his like Sawblaze. And Uppercut, it's gonna be really tough to outmaneuver Uppercut because of how fast that robot is. Because like 1 second it was like looking at Sawblaze, and the other second it just punted Sawblaze right in front of Lisa Winter.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I haven't found anything yet. I'm gonna probably be done with searching, but yeah, on one hand, those Concussion's probably going to need to try to outmaneuver Uppercut because drums are not the biggest fans of vertical spinners, and probably one of the worst vertical spinners for a drum spinner to go up against is Uppercut because of the design within that thing. Check out Kenny's our video. I forget what in the episode where they fought Gemini, where he explains the whole design within that vertical spinner and such, which was incredibly educational to watch and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, I feel like if these 2 bots go weapon on weapon, I think it's definitely going to go in Uppercut's favor. But then in Concussion, if they manage to outdrive Uppercut and get to the sides and stuff, I think they could do some sufficient damage, even knock off a wheel.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this will definitely be an entertaining battle to watch. I feel like Uppercut's just going to come out swinging right away just to keep Concussion from outdriving them. So
yeah,
I think this will be a fun fight to watch, no matter who wins it. As we got 2 excellent bots here.
definitely.
All right, so should we vote, or do you got anything else?
I'm As long as the uppercut team doesn't dab in this fight, I'll be fine. But if they dab, I will lose respect for them once again.
Oh man. So should we vote then?
Yeah, I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, I'm gonna go uppercut. I think they're gonna win it by a knockout.
Yeah, I'm gonna say uppercut on a knockout in like the last minute of the fight. I think concussion can hold in there for a good majority of it, but not for the whole 3 minutes.
Yeah. All right, second to last fight, this fight card, where we got Vulture and Claw Viper. Now it's another Robot Wars versus Battlebots face-off here. Now it's Vulture, another Series 10 contender here. They lost to Terahertz in their opening round Rumble, but then managed to beat Bucky the Robot to get back in it. Lost to Terahertz again, but then had to forfeit against Traction due to damage. Their opponent is Claw Viper, where they are currently in Battlebots 2020, sitting at a 1-1 record with a win over Hijinks, but then a loss to Black Dragon. And so Vulture, I consider them to be a very similar design to Sawblaze, the main event contender, looking like it's an overhead vertical spinner. I think it was you that said this as well, who said this as well in one of our last podcasts, or
Yeah.
potentially before or after podcasts, that looked like Scorpios. I think,
I
or I could,
mentioned that the design looks a bit more like Scorpios just because of the size, because Sawblaze looks like a lot bigger than Vulture from this picture.
yeah, but yeah, whatever it is, it's similar design to both of them in terms of concept. And so, thoughts on this battle from you?
Am I back?
Or yes,
All right, good. Okay. As I was saying, yeah, Vulture looks a bit more like Scorpios just because of the size.
or thoughts on this battle?
This will probably come down to driving because Claw Viper does have a really good driver and could overwhelm.
It's like I lost you. But yeah, this will definitely come down to a driving match if these two end up facing off, and could come down to who's the lower ground game. While I would want to see, well, I bet Claw Viper's strategy is going to probably be try to pick up Vulture and potentially flip them over. I don't know exactly if I could really see that happening, as Claw Viper, well, the design has worked in terms of like driving power or push power, ground game, and stuff like that. The lifter hasn't really worked so far in Battlebots
Yeah.
2020. Of course, though, that could very much change when we get to their third fight and top 32 if they manage to get into it and such. But yeah, as of right now, we haven't seen a lot out of the lifter. I'm not sure if we would see that in this situation as well.
Yeah, this would kind of be a driving battle of who has like the more powerful drive and who can get under easier.
Yeah. Possible concern could be, hey, what would happen if Claw Viper landed an overhead shot on Claw Viper? How well armored are they up there? Because we've seen them take on Hijinks where they took a bunch of hits to the front, Black Dragon where they took hits on the front and hits to the side. We haven't seen anybody land any shots on top of them yet. Not sure how well armored they are up there, which could be a potential concern if these two were to face off. Like, we haven't seen Claw Viper take on a bot like Scorpio, Sawblaze, or any hammer bots. So
True.
that's one thing that could be unknown here.
Yeah, I think maybe the Claw Viper team would come prepared for. They probably have some like modification where they could like give themselves more top armor in exchange for like less front and side armor, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I did share a concern for Claw Viper. I also have a concern for Vulture as for their reliability, as multiple times we've seen their spinners stop working a few times. I think they lost drive as well, or
Yeah.
and such. Like, we've seen smoke rise at them a few times. That kind of led to their out before they took on Traction, and for their battle to determine who would go to the 10-way free for all.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else about this one, or should we vote?
I'm ready to vote.
Yeah. My pick, I think Claw Viper is gonna win it. I'm gonna go judge's decision here. Is I think they're probably lower to the ground and such, and I think that'll just be a major advantage for them in this battle.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there also. I think Claw Viper will dominate this fight and get a convincing judge's decision. I think Vulture might put up a fight and get some damage on the top armor, but I think Claw Viper can stay alive for the most part.
Definitely. All right, next up we got the big one. We got the main event, which we got two bots that I'm really hoping we get to see fight this season. We got Hydra and Sawblaze. As Hydra, they're currently sitting at 2-0 in Battlebots 2020 with a dominant win over Witch Doctor, but a not so dominant win over Huge. We got Sawblaze on the other hand, where they got a dominant win over Whiplash to start the season, but then had a not so dominant second
Got
battle where they
dominated.
got destroyed by Uppercut and such. So they're sitting at 1-1 and
Yeah.
right now. So
This
this would be a very interesting main event here. Would definitely come down to a driving battle. So thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, I would definitely love to see how Jameson Go has adapted towards flippers ever since his 2018 main event with Bronco. I wonder how Sawblaze will learn from what happened and adapt to Hydra, because Hydra is much more powerful than Bronco, as we've seen. So it will be interesting to see how Hydra's uh like strategy will be, because we've never seen it take on a robot with like this much ferocity and driving. I mean, we've seen it take on another great driver in the form of Daniel Freitas and Minotaur, but we haven't seen him take on anyone else like that. So it will be interesting to see him take on Jameson and Sawblaze.
Yeah, this one will definitely be like an all-out driving match between these two. As I imagine, Jake Ewert's probably gonna be trying to keep its front towards Sawblaze and try to make sure that they have the lowest ground between the two. Is between these two, it's definitely gonna be a battle to see who can win the ground game here.
Yeah.
Sawblaze is probably gonna be trying to get flipped over or at the least amount of times possible here. Here now is yeah, they'll probably come in with a similar strategy to Whiplash, where whoever wins the ground game will probably win the entire fight, and that helped them win that battle against Whiplash,
Yeah.
and so on, and so. And even if they aren't lower to the ground, Jameson's Go is probably going to be trying to outmaneuver Hydra, try to get to the sides of the backside, like what Witch Doctor was able to do a few times. As Witch Doctor got a few bites out of the side of Hydra, and so on. So.
Yeah.
By the way, this would be such a fun fight to watch. Now, as we know, Hydra can survive a few hits from spinners, or as compared to Minotaur last season, and then such as for when they took on Witch Doctor, or this year.
Yeah.
So both
I
of
would
these bots are forces to be reckoned with for this one. So this would be a terrific main event.
I would love to see this fight. Like, if this was a main event in BattleBots, like in 2020, this could easily be the best main event for like ever. This could be like better than Tombstone Minotaur, maybe.
Definitely. Hey, this would be a great one. I hope we get to see these two meet, whether it's in their third and final fight, which wouldn't be possible actually because we know Sawblaze takes on Rusty for that one.
And we
And
think
if
Hydra's
they met,
taking.
if they met in the top 32, I hope those I should say I hope we get to see those two meet like
That
in the
that
rest of
could
the
be a
tournament.
championship fight, maybe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that was both of these two bots are championship worthy and such. Like, yeah, we could definitely see both of them make the final and such, and potentially win the whole thing.
Yeah. I this will be come down to like who has the better driving though overall. Like Jake Ewert, I think, is the driver. He's a good driver with Hydra. He's shown a lot of great driving in his fight against Witch Doctor. And he's smart. Like, say what you want about his like uh smart ass move against Huge, but the cow catcher was a smart idea overall. And so it will be nice to see who would take this in the end.
Oh yeah, yeah. I might not have agreed with the judge's decision, or may have liked Jake Ewert's sportsmanship towards both the referee and Jonathan Schultz, but overall, that cow catcher was a incredibly smart strategy. Yeah, including he didn't really break any rules other than disobeying the referee.
Yeah.
Which it's hard to decide exactly what to do about that situation, just because the ref technically was not right. That Hydra was pinning Huge, but that was that was one of the many holes in the Battlebots rule book that Hydra exposed. It was
Yeah.
in that one. So yeah, so anything else in this one, or should we vote here?
Oh, I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, same here. Oh, you first?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Sawblaze by knockout. I think Jameson Go will be able to outdrive Hydra. I think he'll learn from what happened in his Bronco fight and how he will adapt in that fight. And I think he will dominate Hydra.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna pick Sawblaze for this one. I'm actually gonna do it by judge's decision here. I think Hydra is gonna get some flips on Sawblaze, but then Sawblaze was obviously from their Witch Doctor fight was able to recover from getting flipped over, or and stuff like that. So he would definitely be able to self right here. Yeah, and I think he'll get the big moments he needs and big shots he needs to be able to win this battle, and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, this would be a really close fight. I expect this is probably another one where I think it's going to be incredibly close on when I post a poll on this matchup.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, anything else about else about the main event or this fight card?
I just want to see Hydra versus Sawblaze now.
Yes,
This
same
podcast
here.
has gotten me hyped up for the fight if it happens.
Yeah, I really hope it happens, or if there's a Battlebot season 6, I hope they
Yeah.
make this a main event, assuming both bots will return for that season, and so
Yeah.
on. So yeah, so many of these. The fun part about these fantasy tournaments is how hyped up you get over some of the matchups that you would really want to see, and so on.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for co-hosting Civilian Arc here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope you enjoyed this fantasy fight card podcast here, as it will be the last one for a little while, and so on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will continue to check out the podcast over the actual Battlebots 2020 tournament. I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.